Hello everyone. It is a beautiful day outside today, and we also have new kits to reveal. As always, thank you so much for the support in this series, and do take everything I say with a grain of salt because it may not reflect the actual performance of the IDs in combat or in the game, and that will remain to be seen. Starting off here, I'm actually very excited about these. They are very unique from what I saw from the animations and presentation, going for this kind of clockwork detective E-Corp style-ish looking aesthetic is just, I love it. So I'm really excited to dig into these today and see what they're all about. First, let's get in here on to Ryoshu, as you can see here. District 20 Yurodivy? Yurodivy? I'm gonna go Yurodivy on that. Okay. Okay. We have a Lust, Sloth, and, which one is that one? What's green? Oh, I'm gonna lose my mind. Lust, Sloth, and... Oh, I'll think of it. But we don't usually get a lot of the, don't usually get a lot of the green skills, so... That's a little more unique. It's a unique spread, I have to admit. It looks like these are a Sloth ID, as she does have a Sloth defense skill. That's interesting. And these are Tremor. So starting off, we have got a screw loose. On use, gain Tremor count. At X plus Tremor count, gain Clash power. Okay, so we have scaling on Tremor. These are Tremor IDs. Interesting. Like I said, Tremor's been having a really tough time finding a proper team centered around it. You kind of just have all these hodgepodge units of Tremor that kind of just go together and they work, but don't really have a big uniform team as far as I'm aware. So, hey, maybe that'll change, or maybe this is just going to add to the pile of Tremor units. Who knows? But first hit, gain Tremor count on self equal to Tremor count on target. Okay. That's really good. That's insanely good. That's way better than... Like, that's exactly what you could ask. Like, you couldn't ask for any better, because you stack up Tremor so fast in the enemies. Giving it to yourself equal to that Tremor count. Well, I mean, that's just... You can shoot yourself up immediately if you have enough, like, passes in the Mirror Dungeon, ego gifts, so... Hey, that's pretty good. And then you also just inflict Tremor count on your second hit. Okay. Now what are we spending this Tremor on, I wonder? Let's see. Skill 2, that's a 3-coin skill. Gain Tremor count on use, and then at X plus Tremor, gain Clash power and coin power. Okay, yep, love that scaling. Always a good time. On hit, inflict Tremor count on the second hit, and on the third hit, consume Tremor count on self to inflict the same amount of Tremor count on target. Wow, okay. These units are going to be applying their Tremor really quickly. Within a skill 1 and a skill 2, you could cap out on Tremor immediately, depending on, you know, how many ego gifts you have stacked. You know, having your opponent hit that 99 Tremor right on round 2, or turn 2, that's really good. So, all right, but like, what's the cash in? Where's our Tremor burst though? Third skill here, gain Tremor count, of course, and then consume Tremor count on self to gain coin power and Clash power. Okay, so. Okay, I see. So you want to give yourself all your Tremor with the skill 1, and then apply it with the skill 2 if they still don't have it all the way stacked up. And then you want to do the skill 1 again to get it all back on yourself. And then hit him with the skill 3, which consumes all the Tremor count on yourself, which I hope scales really, really hard. So that'd be nice. And then there it is. First hit, Tremor. Second hit, Tremor. Third hit, Tremor burst. And reduce the Tremor count. This kit has a whole rotation built into it, just like that. That's really cool. I mean, you don't have to see that, honestly. You don't usually get kits that have, like, a rotation built into them that just gluttony. Also, gluttony, I just looked over it's gluttony. For the green skills. That's the one I couldn't think of. Yeah, no, this has a whole rotation built right into it. It looks nice. Should cycle very well. May take a couple turns to get going, but like not super long comparatively to other IDs, depending. So, yeah, I mean it's all gonna depend on how this shapes up in the meta, but we'll see how it changes the trimmer landscape for things. Let's get into the passive here. It's a three bullet point passive. We're getting longer passives now, I've noticed. Usually they're like one sentence, but now we're actually getting pretty decently large passives, so let's see what we've got. The passive is NO. No. Not sure what it stands for, though. When an ally staggers an enemy with an attack, follow up with a skill 1 against the staggered enemy. Oh, that's good. So when she staggers an enemy with anything, she's going to immediately follow up and get all that tremor count back on herself. And also, besides just hitting them really hard. Wow, that just gives you your starter of the rotation immediately back. So imagine you do skill 1, skill 2. The skill 2 staggers them, goes back into the skill 1. You gain all that tremor back, and if they're not dead, you can hit them or something else with a skill 3. That's 2 turns. Or 3 turns, I guess, but it's honestly might be really cool. That's really cool. I already like what these IDs have going on, honest. They're really cool. If multiple enemies are staggered at once, target the enemy at the least HP. Nice. Okay, so it prioritizes the least HP enemy, so it prioritizes on getting those kills. Interesting. And then when using skill 1 with this effect, this unit gains more tremor count from its coin effects and triggers its tremor burst on the last coin it hits? What? So it has a double tremor burst just built in on the skill 1 too. Interesting. So you want this to be like a, I don't know, you want this to be like a kill stealer, or not kill stealer, but stagger stealer. You want to get something low enough to stagger, but not stagger yet. You want to target it with Ryoshu here, and then she's going to stagger. She's going to follow up with a skill 1 to get all the tremor on herself, and then that final hit is going to do tremor burst, so you're going to get a double tremor burst if you tremor bursted the target before. And just, yeah, she's just got... This is just a very well-rounded, cool, self-synergizing kit on its own. This isn't the 2-0 kit. This isn't the 3-0 kit. This is just the 2-0 kit. Like, damn. Okay. And then, of course, guard skill, gain shield based on tremor count on self. Hopefully that scales really well. Should, but we'll see. And then support passive, the AI. The number 1 deployed ally gains more tremor count from their skill or coin effects. Cool. So, like I said, tremor teams are very much a hodgepodge, so if you have something really powerful in that first slot and you're not using Ryoshu for some reason, hey, that's nice. You know, you just have a little bit extra there. But let's move on to our boy, Hong Lu, who is styling with a top hat. Love the look of these IDs, by the way, if I hadn't mentioned it before. Okay. We have a Gloom, another Sloth. Looks like a common theme here, and a Gluttony again. Interesting, lots of Sloth and Gluttony. But looks like these are more Sloth IDs, as I said. I always look at the defense skills for that. First thing we have is the skill 1 Deduction Start. Gloom skill. We have Blunt and 2 Pierce. Gain Tremor Count. At X plus Tremor Count, gain Coin Power. And then just inflict tremor and gain tremor count. Easy peasy. Nothing crazy. Just a simple one, just like Ryoshu's skill 1. Skill 2. Morph Cane Technique. If the target has X plus tremor, gain clash power. On use, gain tremor count. At X plus tremor count, gain coin power. Very nice. scales off itself a bunch, just like Ryoshu's does very well. I expect it to scale very well in addition to that, so let's see. We have on the hit, on the first hit, we gauge that tremor count. On the second hit, we hit the tremor on them, and the third count, the target has X plus tremor, trigger tremor burst, then reduce target's tremor count. There we go. Okay, so we have tremor burst already on the skill 2, and it triggers at a threshold. So maybe it won't trigger early, maybe it might trigger later. So hey, let's see, stack up more. And then third skill here, just like a good detective, you're the culprit. On use, gain clash power for every X tremor. At X minus tremor count on self, consume Y tremor count to gain coin power. And then consume X tremor count on self to gain coin power. Oh boy, this is a lot of stacking. Stacking clash power on coin power on more coin power. Oh boy, I expect this to do big boy damage. And it's a 4 coin skill, and you know how much I love those. Let's see what this does, though. First hit. If the skill consumed tremor count on use, trigger amplitude entanglement from tremor reverb. Okay, into tremor reverb. Okay. Alright, this one also is a tremor conversion. Now we have a red tremor? Was that already there before? Ah, man, tremor's got like 4 now or something. Like 4 different variations of tremor. It's so weird and cool. But just, wow. So it converts them into trigger reverb. On trigger, on the second hit, tremor burst, and then reduce the tremor count. Okay. Third hit, the skill consumes X plus tremor count on use, trigger tremor burst again, then reduce tremor count. And then on the fourth hit, if this skill consumes X tremor count on use, trigger tremor burst, and reduce the count. If this unit consumed less than amount of tremor count, trigger tremor burst on self after activating the above effects. Oh, okay. I see. So yes, it does have 3 tremor bursts built into it. However, if you, it's like the big nuke skills for the warp IDs. Think of Ryoshu and Don Quixote, where if you don't have the amount of charge count, it will make you take 10% of your max HP, I believe. This is a little bit more extreme than that, I think. This, because you're stacking tremor on yourself constantly with these kits. If you trigger tremor burst on yourself, that might be really bad. So you really want to make sure you're all the way stacked up so you can take advantage of all 3 of those tremor bursts. But yeah, no, this Honglu has 4 tremor bursts built into his kit. 1 on his skill 2, and then 3. Or yeah, 3 on his skill 3. That's pretty insane. I think that's the highest number out of any of the tremor kits. The tremor IDs, I believe. Okay. Well, I'm definitely, of course, I'm always interested in seeing how they will perform. I've never really been a tremor guy, as you might be aware. Is this the time to really get into tremor? Maybe. I think they look very strong. They sound very strong. I love the aesthetic and the look, and the animations were really great. This might be the time to dip your toe in. Maybe. It seems like these synergize a lot better than a lot of the other ones do, and they also synergize with themselves. So even if you have just a one-off or have just 2 of them in a team, I think they'll perform very well just with them. So, hey, there's that. But we have a defense skill, of course. We have the shield, weight, question mark, and exclamation point. Gain shield HP based on tremor count. As I said, hope that skills well, but we'll see. And then the passive. Vibro Weld Morph Combat Cane Unauthorized Invention. That's a mouthful. Turn in. Gain damage up next turn equal to the number of times this unit triggered tremor burst this turn. Okay. So you could stack up a lot of attack power up. Or, well, damage up. Not attack power up. Damage up. Damage up. Not that crazy. But yeah. Imagine going from a skill 3 right into another skill 3. skill 2 into a skill 3, and then another skill 2 or something. Just, hey, free damage. This is gonna do a lot. This ID is built for damage. Just hitting the target really, really goddamn hard with a nuke skill. So I love it. You know, you're building up your nuke, you finally pop it. Ryoshu's over there, frickin' running around the battlefield, staggering everybody with their skill 1, triggering more Tremor Burst, and then Honglu comes in to clean up. I mean, I think these will be a menace on bosses. They should do a lot of damage. They just need to make sure they keep that Tremor count up, because of course, they're reducing it all the time, so they do need to make sure they're feeding into that, not just, you know, taking it all up and extinguishing it and stopping your momentum. But damn. That's just... I love it. I love nuke skills. I love seeing the big numbers. I love seeing things get blown up, insta-staggered, all that jazz. So if you like that, I think this is the ID for you. And then we have the support passive, In the Culprit Shoes. When the number 1 deployed AD triggers Tremor Burst or skill with coin effects, X plus chance to trigger an additional Tremor Burst. Okay, just giving a Tremor ID a chance to double proc. That's sick. Will you use it? Because, I mean, you want this on your team if you're using Tremor, but, like, hey, if you just have a little bit of Tremor in Mirror Dungeon, and you have something that can proc Tremor Burst, like Ishmael's Ego, hey, there you go. Easy game right there. Just works with itself. It just works. Todd Howard, it just works. And lastly, we have Amplitude Entanglement for the reverb. Combine the entangling tremor's effect in the target's tremor type under tremor superposition. Potency and count values do not change over entanglement. When triggering amplitude conversion for superposition, it activates as amplitude entanglement instead. Turn and convert into tremor. Okay, that's a little complicated. What I think it's saying is that it takes some of the tremor that you're applying, some of the tremor you're applying in the count, and it's like banking it, I think, so it doesn't get used up, and then converts it into tremor at the end of your turn. So it helps you not convert all of the tremor that you're putting into your target that turn and immediately extinguishing it. It does bank some of it. At least that's how I assume it works. I don't really know. It's kind of weird, and it has and the language is always a little odd, but that's what I think it's doing. Because it converts the tremor into the superposition. It does not change over. The values do not change over the entanglement, and then it activates as entanglement instead of superposition, and then it converts itself into tremor at the end of your turn. So that's my best guess. Don't take my word for it, because I'm really bad mechanically with this kind of stuff, but I assume that's what it's doing. So whatever the case, it's something beneficial, so just be happy with it. Just take it. And it's a cool red tremor, so there you go. But hey, you didn't think that was the end of the video, did you? Because we've got an ego as well. I mean, I was hyped to see. I think a lot of people were hyped to see this. They know their fan base very well, putting Faust in like a wedding dress, pretty much, but also having the really cool gear stuff and the Eileen, not Eileen. Was it Eileen? It was the Clockwork of the Gears gal. I think I might be right, actually. Hold on. Yes, I was right. Right off the cuff. Look at me, still got it. Right off the cuff, Eileen from Library of Ruina, as you may be aware. Now leader of the Church of Gears, and has that kind of semi-aesthetic, but also just the ego corrosion, the dove look, again, calling back to the wedding dress. I mean, this ego just looks gorgeous, and both in all manner of the term looks gorgeous. So very happy to see it, and I can't wait to pick it up myself, even though it probably won't fit on my anything. It's cool to have. Let's see what we're doing here. This is a WA ID. That's good to make note of. This is the first time we got a WA ID outside of like story related in some time. Yeah, I think, is this the first WA ID we've received that's been outside of a like Kanto story? Because very much the blind obsession IDs for Ryoshu and Ishmael are very, of course, heavily themed to that story, and with the Orca, and then of course, you know, Heathcliff and Otis have their like Bandage King egos, which also are very close tied in with the story. But this one's just kind of out there. I mean, it is all gear related. That's probably relates to the like the mini-sode, the in between Kanto 6.2 or 6.3 or whatever they're going to call it. 6.5 does relate to that, so I guess that still counts, but this is the first wall we've seen outside of like a major release like a Kanto, so if I'm wrong, then, well, screw me, but whatever. Let's get to it. I'm tired of rambling. Okay, Sloth. See a Sloth theme throughout. This is a 4-coin ego. Is this a first? Besides, like, the ones that reuse their coins? I don't think I've ever seen a 4-coin ego. Okay, that's really interesting. This could be really strong already. If the target's... It's called Everlasting. If the target's speed is slower than this unit's, deal plus X times speed difference % more damage. Okay, cool. There's lots of ways to get haste and stuff, so tons of free % damage. It's great. Before attack, at X plus highest resonance. Okay, resonance. Inflict tremor potency by Y times highest resonance. Okay, so it just inflicts tremor. Great. If the highest resonance was Sloth, inflict tremor count by the potency inflicted. Okay, really great. Having you tack on a lot of count in addition to your potency. Amazing, especially for the IDs we just looked at. Then after the attack, for X turns, lose YSP at turn end. Ugh, that hurts. This has to be really strong then. This better be really strong, because that is a tough pill to swallow. Let's see. First hit. Inflict tremor, tremor count, turn tremor amplitude into tremor everlasting. Is that a new... That's a new tremor. We have another new tremor. And also trigger tremor burst and reduce the target's tremor count. On the second hit, trigger tremor burst, tremor count. Third hit, tremor burst, tremor count. Fourth hit, tremor burst, tremor count. And then reduce the target's max speed by half next turn. That's also an interesting one too. It's not bind, it's just reducing them by half. Just flat. Okay. So we have 4 tremor bursts on this goddamn thing. That's crazy. This is just a nuke on its own. And what is tremor everlasting? I'm gonna skip ahead a bit. When hit by skills or coin effects that trigger tremor burst, tremor potency on self % chance to trigger an additional tremor burst. When hit by skills or coin effects that trigger tremor burst, trigger count on self % chance to trigger an additional tremor burst. That's just, wait. Is that just duplicated, or is that meant to be? It can happen twice. You can have 3 tremor procs off of 1 if you just roll well on your luck. I think that's what that's saying, because it's not like duplicated. They wouldn't just have a duplicated line and leave it in the kit. I mean, unless they really screwed up, but you can proc tremor burst once and get 3 out of it? And that can keep happening? As long as you keep hitting the one that has everlasting? Okay. When hit by skills that trigger tremor burst, raise the stagger threshold by the FX potency, and then turn end, reduce count by 1. Interacts the same way as the normal tremor does to the effects that raise or reduce tremor poison count. Okay, okay. Doesn't just stay there forever, but it stacks itself up super high. Okay. So you're gonna stack up all this tremor, and then you're just gonna have this ego going off. You're gonna have Honglu going off, and Otis, not Otis, and Ryoshu just tremor burst, tremor burst, tremor burst, tremor burst, tremor burst. And just you're just gonna hear the sound just exploding in your eardrums because it's just happening so often. procking off itself, having extra procs off of Trimmer Everlasting, it's just gonna go crazy. Wow. What a frickin' huge plus to the Trimmer team comps. Trimmer was kind of just, in my eyes, I'll be honest, kind of mid. Kind of meh comparison to the other stuff we have going on with like Burn and all that. But this, I don't know, y'all. Trimmer might be the new hotness. Now that does cost a wall ID, or I mean a wall ego, which is very expensive to uptie 4, but hey, if this is doing what I think it's gonna do, it's worth. And even if it's just, you know, you have Faust on her own, even with that, triggering the effect on Sloth Potency may still give you good damage anyway, just because she's hitting it 4 times? That remains to be seen, but this is just crazy. But we have to go over the Ego Corrosion skill. Of course, targets randomly. If the main target speed is slower than this unit's, deal X times speed difference more damage. Inflict Tremor Potency on self by highest resonance. Highest resonance with Sloth, inflict Tremor count. And then we also have... It's just the same thing. Does the same thing on Corrosion that it does on the normal one. Just exact same. That's interesting. I wonder if it just hits harder. Or... Oh no, it's just one hit. It's just one coin. That does... Oh. Oh, I see. I see. You're not hitting the target 4 times and triggering it on 1 each. You're hitting it once and triggering it 4 times on 1 hit. Now that is a goddamn nuke if I've ever seen one. Good lord. Okay. And then finally, my friends, we have the Ego passive. When this unit uses a skill to trigger Tremor Burst on enemy, gain haste next turn. There we go. Likes to be fast. Wants to be faster than the enemy to get that % more damage. Wow. I've never really been interested in Tremor. May have said this before. I'm saying it again. But this might be the time, because these are so cool and have so much stuff going on. So creative. I love all 3 of these kits. And I can't wait to see them in action. And I hope you are too. That will be it for today. I saw the trailer for the mini episode. Very, very excited. I cannot wait to dig into that. But as always, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you're excited about the future of Limbus Company and this future interlude that we're going to be having here soon. And of course, as you know, I make these videos for my own enjoyment and for yours, and I hope you have a great time along the way as I make more of them. Hope you look forward to the next kit reveal or playthrough of the interlude, depending on what comes first. And as always, I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye!